Hey, this is Malika with Evanston Live TV, the voice of the people. I had the honor of sitting down with newly elected Vice President of District 65 Board, Miss Anya. Yes, we sat down over there at Kurt's Cafe North, had some coffee, and just got down to business. She's an awesome young woman, master's in education. The woman got 14,000 votes to win her position, and then people had the nerve to even question the 14,000 votes. I mean, the woman has just been doing her thing. I don't think there was a block we could drive by where we did not see Anya's name on a sign. She was out there working, okay? And she shared with us her vision for District 65 Board. So the woman's got plans, and it was an honor to sit down with her. So check this out.
I'm Malika. I'm Anya Tanyavutti, and I am Vice President of the District 65 School Board.
Okay, now, Anya.
Yes.
First of all, congratulations on your new position.
Thank you so much.
So well deserved. You have worked so hard. I mean, there wasn't a block that I drove down in Evanston where I did not see your name on a sign. So I was like, this girl is out here working. She is working it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I loved it. So, you know, it's been heard through the grapevine and some media outlets pretty much saying, you know, you really didn't have the votes to win. Can you clear that up for us, those of us who are wondering what was meant by that?
Oh, goodness. Well, I think I know what you're alluding to. I did notice that there have been some outlets that haven't posted my vote totals, and it's been noticeably missing. A few supporters have brought that to my attention. What I can say is I think that what's being noted is that the 2-year seat that I was running in was unopposed. But what I was humbled and honored by is, despite the fact that I was running in an unopposed seat, one, I was committed to campaigning because I believe that as an act of, if we're seeking a position of public service, that it's our duty and responsibility to learn and both share with our community, regardless of if the position is, the seat is running opposed or not. And so that was my commitment, and that was really my family's commitment. My 2 small children and my husband shared me through this campaign season. I very much appreciate them, and I appreciate coming to know our community better. And I'm happy to know that there were signs that were recognized as well, because we were working very hard. And what I was humbled by is the fact that no one had to vote for me because it was an unopposed seat. And so every single one of those 14,000 votes, nearly 14,000 votes that I received, I felt was an intentional act of commitment to the campaign that we ran. Me, along with several committed volunteers and my family, we ran a campaign that was deeply rooted in the ideas of inclusive and transparent governance, as well as a commitment to addressing holistically a high quality and rigorous education in a way that also addresses the impact of institutional marginalization, which affects all of us. And I believe that it is a value in our city that is rich in difference, that we find a way to make sure that our institutions equitably serve everyone. And I think that the fact that I had such a significant amount of support, even though it wasn't required, was our community also saying that they were committed to those values. And so I was humbled, and I was honored and excited. And so thank you for acknowledging that work.
Yes. You know, it's painful to hear stories like that when you know the person is really busting their ass out there, like working really hard, and then, you know, people come along and try to steal or devalue your work and what you've done to get to where you are. You know, that's just very painful. Okay. Now, there's a huge concern with the achievement gap. I'm sure that's high on your priority list.
It absolutely is. I would say the most high stakes and high profile work of our board currently is both ensuring that we are stewarding with the most diligence and transparency the referendum dollars that were awarded to us. And that, not second to that, parallel to that, is urgently responding to the issue of institutional marginalization. It has certainly created a gap in access to opportunity to achieve, and currently that falls distinctly along racial and ethnic lines. And we, as a board, are seeking to be brave and bold and transparent and inclusive in how we respond to that. Recently, Dr. Sean Reardon was in town sharing some of his education data, and one of the things that he shared was that the gap between the lowest resource households and the highest resource households in our city is about 2.5. And in cities like Berkeley and Atlanta, that gap is 6. So double that the income gap that we have in our city. Despite the fact that the income gap is double, the gap in achievement is the same. It's 4 grade levels, and that falls along racial and ethnic lines in our city according to his data. That's important data for us to sit with. I truly believe that our community is dissatisfied with those results, and we want to look at how we may be unintentionally contributing to that. His data and also the data that we have indicates that early childhood is an incredibly important space for us to look at, both the quality and access to early childhood, and that is something that is on our list of priorities and is specifically of value to me.
Okay. And is there anything that the community, parents, can do to assist in your mission with the achievement gap?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I talked a lot about during the campaign is that this is not about shifting a lens, but broadening a lens. This is about ensuring that when we talk about the gap in access to achievement, and I say gap in access to achievement because this is not an individual challenge. It's not something that falls on the shoulders of an individual child or a family. This is not about parents not loving their children enough. This is not about children not working hard. This is truly about historic institutional values that have unintentionally been replicated. And this is about us hearing from one another and working together to commit to us achieving together. When that gap in access to opportunity is narrow and it is not predictable based on racial, ethnic, or other ways of being different within our institution, we will know that we have truly become a place of inclusivity that replicates the culture and climate of the words that we have committed to. We are committed to every child and doing whatever it takes for every child. And part of that is all of us being engaged with one another so that we can get the best from one another on behalf of one another.